Hey everyone, Coach Allison back with Defy Aging. We have week 20, and what that means is it is our next mobility week. So we're going to do this every 10 weeks. And last time we did this was week 10. So so another mobility week. That means we're kind of getting away from the resistance training, from the cardiovascular training this week, and we're focusing just strictly on mobility and some stretching and things like that. Last time, you might recall, you might not, we did kind of an in your own space routine where we had a designated number of reps and you kind of went at your own pace. This mobility week, we're going to do stations or more standard rotation, but we are going to do very long working sets. And again, these aren't overly intense movements. Typically, they're focused more on range of motion, tension, so stretching the muscles, maybe really challenging those hips. So they are long working sets, but again, they shouldn't be getting you out of breath like a cardio exercise. They shouldn't be working your muscles in the same way that maybe something with a weight, like pumping up a weight like this would typically do. So they are going to be 60-second sets with a 30-second rest for the rotation part. But in those 60 seconds, I want you to be going slow, controlled, and really focusing on the movement itself. So this isn't one of our movements, but I'm just showing you for a simple example. If it was 60 seconds of a shoulder circle, I would want you to be going really slow and intentional, feeling that nice ball and socket movement, feeling that nice big circle motion, and not kind of just loosey-goosey and fast like that. That's why we're doing such long working sets this week. So that'll be a little bit different with the 60-second working sets. We're going to go through the circuit for only 2 rounds because they are such long working sets. All right, let's go through our 6 exercises. Station 1, shoulder external rotation. It's very, I want to say, standard or typical rotator cuff shoulder mobility exercise. I'll show you from the front first, even though I'm not going to be using the actual band here. Okay, so you have your elbow bent to 90 degrees, upper arm stays right along your side, and you start the arm right in front of your body. So you're not going to be crossing your body. We're rotating externally, so out from the body. You're pulling the resistance out and releasing back in. You can cross the midline just a little on the way back in, but you don't have to cross all the way. Okay, your elbow might release a little bit from your side, but you want to keep your upper part of your, maybe upper 3 or 4 inches tucked really tight. Okay, so you don't want to fully release your arm like this. So I'll do a few in a row. You'd be doing this slow and controlled. Okay, so I'll show you now you can't really see my arm. That's why I wanted to show you that first. But as you can see, I'm pulling the tension, pulling the band outward externally. Exhale on that rotation. Halfway through the set, all you have to do is turn around, of course, to do the other side. A couple things to keep in mind here. Try to keep your shoulders pretty level. They might end up kind of shrugging or doing some weird things like this. Try to keep them really level. So that's a shoulder external rotation. Station 2, heels elevated clamshell. Okay, you can rest your head in your hands. You're going to bend your knees and kind of bring them in a little. So you're kind of in not full fetal position, but okay, now this would be a typical clamshell. Lifting that top knee, keeping the feet together. We're going to do heels elevated. I feel like we did this recently for some reason. Okay, keep those heels up. Sorry, yes, feet up. Keep the feet up. So feet elevated, not heels elevated. Feet elevated clamshell. And the feet are going to want to move around a little bit. They're going to move a little, but try not to let them sink down as you're doing this, okay? And lift that top leg as far as you can without tilting back. See how I'm not allowing my body to tilt back like this? So keep your hips very still. Don't be rolling back kind of onto your butt. And yes, so this one we're not going to switch halfway through. So that'll waste too much time rolling over and getting situated. So since we're only doing 2 rounds, let's do round 1 on one side, round 2 on the other side. I will show you an alternative for anyone not getting onto the floor. So let's go over that alternative. The alternative for the feet elevated clamshell is a bent knee resisted leg lift. So it's very similar to a lateral leg lift, sort of like this. But what we're going to do is put a band around the knee, so just above the knee. You will probably want to hold on to something for balance. I don't have anything nearby. You're going to bend the knee that you're going to be lifting. You're going to bend that knee. That's why you might want something for balance, because you don't have this foot to touch to the floor. And we're going to be lifting that leg to the side. So yes, it's very similar to this movement, but we want the resistance to be a little bit higher up by the hip as opposed to band down by the ankle. And this just a little more closely replicates that clamshell. Okay, so from the side, keep that knee bent. Don't let the ankle kind of waver forward and back. Try to keep the lower leg very still. For that, if you're doing that alternative of the clamshell, I do want you to switch sides halfway through, because it's a long time to balance on one leg. I don't want to get that stabilizing leg too fatigued. So halfway through, simply put that leg down and switch to the other leg if you're doing that alternative. So keep that in mind. So 2 options for our feet elevated clamshell station. Next station is a straight arm back pull. This one's going to be a little tricksy because we do so many rows, which are great for your back. And we do typical rows, which is pulling back like this. Elbows are obviously bending, right? So this is a straight arm back pull, not a back row. So what I mean by that is you're not actually going to be bending your elbows and pulling back. You're going to be using the muscles back here, squeezing your shoulder blades together like a back row, but without bending the elbows. So step back till there's a good amount of tension on your band, shoulders down. So make sure we're not shrugging when we do this. Keep the arms straight. So I want you to pretend that your arms are locked in, like you have casts on your arms and they literally can't bend. And we shift our shoulders back. Your arms might separate a little bit. That's totally fine. Shift the arms back, squeezing the shoulder blades together and releasing back forward. You might arch your back a little bit. I know from the front you can't see anything, so I will turn to the side. Just want to show you from the front. Okay, so like this, arms are straight. I'm shifting, my shoulders are going to start here. They're going to end probably about here. Pulling back, releasing forward. Pulling back, releasing forward. Notice how I'm never pulling with my elbows, so I'm never, see, even doing a little bend. You might have end up with a little arch in your lower back. So that's what helps you to kind of squeeze those shoulder blades together. And I don't know if you can see my shoulder blades or not with this lighting, kind of drawing those shoulder blades together. So that one's a little tricksy because your body, again, is going to want to pull and bend those elbows. So again, you get these minute-long sets to really focus on that and to work on it. As you're pulling back, don't shrug, okay? Straight arm. I think it was called straight arm. Yep, straight arm back pull. This next one is a squat mobility drill. It's actually pretty tricky, so we're going to give this a try. I'm going to go into a little bit wider squat than normal, okay? And as you squat down, you're going to grab your ankles at the bottom. And as you can see, I'm kind of bringing my hands, my arms on the inside of my legs and sort of grabbing around like this, okay? Just like this. Get as low as you can in your squat. Yes, it's going to look a little bit goofy. Low as you can in your squat. I'm going to straighten my legs as much as I can. When you do that, you're getting a really good hamstring stretch here. Okay, if you can't get them all the way straight, you actually don't want to. As you can see, I'm keeping a slight bend in my knees. And then I'm going to go back down and stand up. Squat. Now, as you squat, you're just letting your hands glide down your legs. Squat down, grab those ankles, butt in the air, butt back down, stand. Squat, grab the ankles, butt up, butt down, and stand. Okay. Now try grabbing those ankles. That's not quite happening. Stop wherever you need. Like you can kind of grab those shins, front of the lower legs, so you can stop before those ankles. Okay. Same thing. So shins, ankles, whatever you can grab. What we're really going for though is that, that straightening of those legs. Again, you don't straighten them all the way, so we're not going for this. That's a hyperextension, but you don't want to keep them slightly bent. But we're going for that stretch, and by grabbing those ankles or as low as we're able to grab, that's helping you to get a nice deep squat. So that's working some hip mobility, getting that deep squat knee mobility. So that is our squat mobility drill. This next one is called a mini band wall crawl. Okay, got your mini band around your ankles, your wrists, and you want palms open facing one another. Put your arms against the wall like so, And you want tension here. So I'm not just letting it be loose. I'm pulling until there's a good amount of tension. Shoulders down. And I want to be doing that shoulder blade squeeze just a little. I mean, you couldn't really see that. But so yes, there's tension here, but there's actually a lot going on. So, and I'm going to just crawl up like this. You know, so the band's a little higher than my head, maybe a little higher than my forehead. And crawl back down. Back up. That whole time, though, I'm keeping this external, this outward pressure or tension on the band. And that's very important. If you start to let it go lax, you're really not creating the tension that we want. So that is the mini band wall crawl. Last exercise, it's a combo fire hydrant donkey kick. This is great hip mobility. Okay, so we're in a quadruped position, which is hands and knees, nice flat back, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Keeping your neck neutral, so that means you're keeping your gaze down at the floor, so we're not looking forward like this. That tends to overly arch the back when we do that. Keep that neck neutral. And we're going to do a fire hydrant, which is lifting that leg to the side, keeping the knee bent, so we're not straightening the leg at all. Fire hydrant, up, down, and then a donkey kick, up, down to the back leg. So notice my foot has a little flexion to it. My working leg, which is my left leg, which is facing the camera, my foot is flexed. This is a relaxed foot. This is a flexed foot. We want to keep that flexed foot. So, fire hydrant, donkey kick. And that donkey kick, you're kicking your heel towards the ceiling. So I'm not straightening out the leg like this. I'm not kicking the toe to the ceiling. Again, I have that flexed foot. So you should feel a good squeeze in your glutes. I'm going to show you a couple in a row. Slow and steady. I'm keeping that 90-degree bend in my knee at all times. So my knee position never changes. When you're doing that donkey kick, I'm going to switch sides so I start to feel a little level here. I'm showing you from the front. Because when you're doing, sorry, not the donkey kick, when you're doing the fire hydrant, which is the side lift, I don't want you trying to get higher than your body naturally goes. This is about where my leg is going to stop before I would have to sort of tilt my body and change my body position in order to get that leg higher. So don't do that. Don't try to get your leg higher if it sacrifices your body position. So this is as high as my leg can go. If I needed to get it any higher, I'd have to start tilting my body. So that's as high as it goes. I'm going to stop. And then I do the donkey kick, heel to the ceiling. Fire hydrant, heel to the ceiling, donkey kick. So I think we get the gist of that. I wanted to be very clear on that. So I know that was kind of long. Standing version of this, it's actually very, very similar. Again, you would be near something to hold on to. I mean, you don't have to, but we don't want to focus on the balance, or we want to focus strictly on the movement. You're going to bring your knee up to 90 degrees, just like you would be on the floor. Open that knee to the side. See how that's very similar to the fire hydrant. And then keep that bend in the knee and press back. Really all the same stuff. I'll show you from the side. I can't look sideways when I'm balancing. So knee to the side and then kicking that heel back. Knee back up, knee to the side. Now this doesn't look like much, but I'm getting a stretch here and I'm really feeling that squeeze in my glute. Show you from this side. So this is the starting position. Open up to the side. Stretch the leg back. Side. Back. Extremely similar. Standing versus kneeling on the floor. So that is our donkey kick, or our fire hydrant donkey kick combo. Okay, our team builder is going to be kind of fun. So the routine for the week was, like I said, not a lot of cardio, minimal cardio, if any. So we're going to bump that cardio up for our team builder just to get a little metabolic spike. Battle ropes. You're going to be in 2 teams, even teams. It has to be even because we're going to try to we're going to race each other. So it has to be fair. So if you have an odd number of participants, your coach is going to jump in and join one of the teams to even it out. You have 2 battle ropes. Everyone's going to be doing the same double arm slam like this. Get in a line with your team. So single file line. The first person in the row for each team, you do 30 slams. Everyone in the row does 30. Then everyone in the row does 20. And then everyone in the row does 10. Always just a single slam. We're not mixing it up with anything else. First team to get everyone done with the 30-20-10 wins. Okay, team, that is our second mobility week of the year. Hope you enjoy these new movements, and we'll see you back next week.